Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Wednesday, December 3rd. And we are looking at a market holding on to their gains. It feels very much like we have a beginning of a Santa rally starting. So last couple of days we've been to the upside. And the absence of bears has been noticeable. So it hasn't been like hard sell-offs into the close or anything like that. You're getting into closer to Christmas, lighter volume. Not super light volume, but definitely a bit lighter. And the ES is like at 110. That's kind of normal for that. It's been on the higher end of that. We're getting into the more normal rhythm, and it feels very much like we are on our way higher. Well, I'm not going to be getting too excited just yet, but it definitely has the feel of it. So the little pop we had going into the end of November, given the after the little sell-off here right on December 1st in the overnight, not a big one, but it felt pretty weak that day. We have a couple of days of holding on to their gains, slowly grinding back up here, holding above the 6,800s. So we're in a good shape here to potentially see a little Santa rally, I think. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So news this morning, we had the mortgage applications come up at 7. That's a mixed bag, but it's not crazy bad numbers by any means. We get at 8:30, we get import-export prices, industrial production at 9:15, PMI composite at 9:45, ISM services at 10, oil report at 10:30. Now, two of them, import-export prices in industrial production has a delayed mark on them. And I can't tell if that's going to be because they're delayed, or they're delayed coming out late, or they are not going to be reported. So let's keep that in mind. At 8:50, we get an ADP report. We have that in 8:30, 9:50, two reports coming out: import-export prices and industrial production. PMI looks like it's going to come out at 9:45. ISM services at 10. So some news coming out this morning to drive the market. That's going to be interesting. But I would start off range bound bias. It's still to the upside. I think the ES is on the long side of this right now. They've been holding on to these gains. I'm watching them. The fact that we've taken out this 6,800 edge and holding above it should keep us on the should keep us favoring the long side. But as you see in the last few days, we have very much range-bound trading days. It is a very slow grind to the upside, but it's primarily range-bound trading we're looking at. So I would look for very much of the same thing. Maybe a little bit more momentum to the upside could start building. That would be nice. So again, look favoring the long side, looking to buy weakness for rotations up. At this point, we would be looking at buying against 68.45s, 35s, 25s, down to the 15s. Below the 15s, I would take off the long bias and go back. I would be more concerned about the short side, but not until they take out these lower edges, the 6,800 and 68.90 or 67.95. Are we really in having a problem? If you put it that way. So these two lower areas, 6,800, 67.95, both of them comes out, we are in trouble. We are heading lower at that point. I don't think that's going to be the case. I haven't heard a lot of people forecasting that. I think most people doing November's weakness feel very much like the bears has run out of gas, and we are basically kind of free and clear for a little Santa rally. But as I said, not going to be super aggressive on the long side just yet. Looking at our F1, we are definitely in a spot where we can take this higher. So favor the long side of the market, look to buy weakness against the 68.45, 35s, 25s, 15s. Below the 15s, I'm taking off any long bias. And then below 6,800 and 67.95, both of them comes out. That would be the last two ones I would look to buy against. But then they come out in some trouble. And on the way up, we have a pretty good resistance area here at the 68.65s, 60 to 65s. That was a Friday high, a little short day we had there. There was also yesterday's high. They came up, they bounced on it. And so far we are it's grinding up there. Yeah, retest that area. Now, third time to the level, chances are we have a shot at taking it out. I was watching some other chart. It looks like there's a little grind to the upside right now going on. We'll see if they can keep that going or not. But overall, favorite alongside. And the only short I would really consider right now, right off the top of my head, is 68, 65 here. If they start taking out that level, I would be a lot less aggressive on these resistance areas on the way up here. Just because we haven't been there for a while, and we're not sure how strong they are at this point. But the one we know is going to have some punch behind it is the 68, 65. You can see with a nice little move to the upside on the ES here. They stalled right now. That's kind of going sideways, not going anywhere. But it's not failing either. So they could very well be just setting up for another couple of another drift higher. So yeah, to be very cautious stepping in front of it and getting caught in moves like that, because as you can tell, they would them not let you out at all here on the way up. So if you're trying to get short around on the way into the mean here and get caught around the 68.50 on the short side of this, you're up against the 10 point. You got 10 points against you now, and no relief at all in front of you. So that's tricky. Nasdaq's doing the same thing, heading higher. Nice grind to the upside there as well. And you can see Nasdaq is working this area now. This is that key area we talked about for a bit. On the way down, when they start backing off, this first low volume area was just was support. They took out they closed out the rollover gap going into the this was the rollover into December, and then we're obviously going to see we saw a lot of weakness after that. Now the 350, 360 volume edge, they have taken that out. They're holding above it at least a couple of days now. So I mean, we have been here. This is that lower edge right there on the lower end of this on the screen, and they've been probing back and forth here. Yesterday was the first full day above it, and I'm thinking that we may have a shot at taking this higher now. So again, starting off with a bias to the upside on the Nasdaq, looks like there's a little bit more risk on going on. If you look at the cryptos is very much risk on the last day or so. Let me see how it looks this morning, real quick. Cryptos. That's cryptos is a real risk on, risk off sensor. Yeah, they're up there again. So 90 Bitcoin about 92, Ethereum about 3. Yeah, so they're on a little bit more risk on going on right now. So I would start from the long side on the Nasdaq, look to buy weakness down to this area, the 370, 380s. So down here at that volume edge again, that's when we start worrying about the short side again. But initially, looking to buy against the 600s, the 25, 560 to 70s, the 500s. Now, if they trade below the 500s, I may want to take off the long bias and go back more range bound. Still looking to buy against the 460s and the 420s all the way down to the 320s or 330s. Just a little bit less aggressively. I think if they back off, if they're probing right now up here, and they start backing off, and they're down here and below that 500 level. 500 would be this level where the lower end of this prior distribution we are trading in right now. So that was resistance for us for a bit, that 500 level. We were up here a couple of times trying to take it out. And there was the Friday high, and that was the high the overnight. It was the high on the Monday's trading. So they couldn't take it out, but yesterday they did take it out, and so they back off below that level, the 500s. I'm taking off the long buys and going back more range bound. I'm still looking to buy against that 460s and the 420s for rotations up again. So that's the way I'm looking at it in the bigger picture. And on the way higher, we're already up against that 670 resistance area. It looks to me like they're getting ready to take it out. So again, not going to be very aggressive on the short side of these levels as they if they start grinding this higher. So I would stay on the long side on the Nasdaq to get started. Let's see how far they can take it. The only short, as I said, is up here at the 660s, but they've been here for a while now. So chances are they're going to take that out. So stay on the long side on both the ES and NASDAQ to get started. We know when to change it. 500, 25, 500. We're watching that level on the NASDAQ. Still looking to buy all the way down here to the 330, 340s. And on the ES, the level is 68.15. Below that one, we'll take off the long bias. Still looking to buy against that 6,800 and 67.95 rotations back up again. So that's how we get started. And let's see if this is going to be the start of a Santa rally, because I think today is going to be a good day. If they keep going, we have a good shot at getting the momentum to the upside going. And then finally, looking at the bonds. The bond market popping a little bit. Look at that. ADP report came out. Let me see what that came out. Does it have a number on that or not? ADP. Let me see. Minus 32,000. Ooh. Shit. The prior revised consensus was plus 20,000. Actual minus 32,000. So a shitty number. Terrible number. So we're going the wrong way. We're not adding, we're losing jobs, is what it looks like. So yeah, that's not a great report. So maybe that's going to forecast some rate cut. They solidify the rate cut in December here. But all right, so that's what they came out. That's what popped the bond market. And let's see what's going to go right now. Again, I'm trying to I'm staying on the bond market. I'm going to watch these guys pretty carefully. If it's they have usually, if you get on a good bond trade, you'll be happy. Those are great. Just have to be cautious and not try to overtrade. Do not trade the bonds like you want to trade the ES and the NASDAQ. If you try it, it's not the same animal at all. You get caught and you get stopped out, and you get caught, you get stopped out. They can run it and turn it, and you have to really pay attention to whether you think the edges are, and lean against those edges. That's the only way you get the advantage. So trading bonds, excuse me. They were down here early on, down here bouncing off this 116. Now they're backing off that level. But so far they pretty much just retraced this little run down here we had the other day. And reverse retesting the 26s above the 117s, we are solidly back up in that upper range again. So this is your capital flow. So this was the rundown we had, a little rundown, and then they were retracing and heading back to the mean right now. So mean is around 117. Sorry, the mode here on this distribution with 117 is also the attractor on the upside. So that's where we're heading back to. Rotation back to value. Now, if they're going to hold it, if they see us the little pop to the upside, if they start seeing them start heading back down again, I would watch the level, the 116.16. If starts trading below that one, chances are we may be seeing a little bit of weakness on the bond market. We'll see. They're reacting right now to that ADP number. But I would look to buy against this 16.16 and the 16.10s. Both of them initially, see if they are really on the way higher. But if they trade below that 116.10, I think we are back on the short side, looking for retest of these lows, maybe lower. That's how I think it looks. All right, so that's the bond market. Starting off with a slight bias to the upside. Let's see if they can hold on to these gains, but only looking to buy against these first two support areas. Below that one, below the 116.10, we are back on the short side on this one. So bond market just opening right now. Let's see how this whole thing shakes out. All right, back to the ES and ES and NASDAQ. Okay, it backed off a little bit from the on the number. It's a terrible number. So we'll see how this whole thing shakes out. We got news in about 10 minutes if the import-export prices number comes out. Otherwise, the next for sure news comes at 9:45. Alrighty, guys, we'll wrap it there for now. So good trading, and I will see you back at 11:30 for the next update. I'm almost tempted to do a Christmas countdown, but that's going to just freak you out and get everyone all bent out of shape. Anyway, good trading, guys. I'll see you back at 11:30 later.